Have you ever been close enough to a real force of nature? Like maybe a wildfire or the sound of the ocean during a hurricane, where you stop just seeing it as beautiful and you start to feel it as something active.
Oh, absolutely. There's a huge difference, isn't there? That moment you realize you're not just watching it, you're in it.
It's immense. It's this almost spiritual shift from appreciating its power to being, utterly humbled by it. And that's what we're doing today. We're taking a deep dive into some incredible source material, eyewitness accounts, articles, research notes that really captures that raw, untamed power. We're not treating these like dry weather reports. Think of them more like dramatic footage, the moments the Earth reminds us who's really in charge.
And that's the core mission here, isn't it? To get past the numbers, the wind speed or the Richter scale reading, we're looking squarely at the emotional, the physical impact of nature's sheer, uncontrollable energy. These sources are amazing because they articulate that feeling of standing in the path of something that just does not care about our plans.
Right, it's completely indifferent.
Completely. And what's so clear right from the start of this material is this running theme of humility, this idea that nature can constantly astonish us, overwhelm us. The authors even describe its power as having a wild musical power that's totally beyond our control.
A wild musical power. I love that description. But I have to ask, doesn't musical make it sound a little, a bit too organized?
That's a great question, actually. I think that's a fair challenge. When the sources use musical, I don't think they mean, a symphony with a conductor. It's more about an inherent complex rhythm that's perfectly ordered, but only to itself. It follows its own rules.
Ah, okay. So it's a composition we can only listen to, not conduct.
Exactly. And look at the examples they use to illustrate this. They are so primal, so dramatic.
Right. They start with the instantaneous, shocking flash of lightning across a stormy sky. Just pure, violent energy.
Immediate.
Yeah.
And impossible to predict with any real certainty. But then they pivot completely.
To the geological. The slow, silent, unstoppable flow of hot lava pouring down a mountainside.
Yes. You have this sudden, violent strike of the lightning and then this creeping, devastating inevitability of the lava.
One is over in a second. The other takes days, but destroys everything just the same.
They're both equally powerful, just operating on completely different timescales. And that's such a powerful metaphor for this force.
And when you think about the energy involved, we can make a small flash in a lab, we can melt metal in a factory, but the sheer scale of a real thunderstorm or an active volcano, it just dwarfs everything we can do.
It forces that humility we keep talking about.
Yeah.
This power is wild because it is not organized for our benefit, not at all. Its beauty is almost incidental. It's secondary to its immense and often destructive capacity.
And this brings us back to what it means to be truly informed about nature.
It's not just knowing the science, the speed of the wind, the temperature of the lava. True knowledge is grasping the humility it imposes. It's understanding that this performance can get way too loud and way too close for comfort.
Speaking of too close for comfort, let's transition from that philosophical awe to the very specific sudden events documented in these accounts. The sources move really fast into how water can become an immediate threat, how it shifts from life-giving to life-threatening in the blink of an eye.
Yes, and they get very specific here.
Very. They focus on an emergency situation up in Washington state. They detail these sudden flash floods. And these weren't, rivers slowly rising over days. These were fast, high-volume walls of water that were so severe the authorities had to jump in right away.
And the consequence of that is it's massive.
Right.
This is the key operational reality of that untamed power we're talking about.
What, the road closures?
The road closures.
Yeah.
Major road, we're talking key infrastructure, economic arteries. They had to be shut down immediately for public safety.
And you have to think about the logistics of that decision, what that really means.
It means the authorities saw water moving so fast and so dangerously that keeping a road open for even a few more minutes was an unacceptable risk. It was too late for anything else.
So one minute you're driving along a scenic road, maybe through a canyon.
Exactly. And the next, because of rain miles away or a rapid snowmelt, the water is rising so fast that the only thing the government can do is shut it all down. They just have to accept the huge disruption that comes with it.
It's like a forced surrender, isn't it? Humanity's carefully organized plans just have to stop because nature decided to play a much stronger note.
That's it. That's the operational reality of that wild musical power. It doesn't give you a week's notice.
No, it demands an immediate, massive response. That disruption says everything you need to know about the force itself. And if water is that fast and disruptive, than wind?
Well, the way the sources describe wind is just sheer, brutal physical power.
Oh, it's visceral.
Totally. They describe winds strong enough to literally knock adults and children down. Not just stagger them, but push them off their feet. The source calls it a chilling testament to nature's power.
That phrase really takes it beyond just a gale, doesn't it? It turns the wind into a physical adversary. And they give us a very specific anecdote to really hammer this home, with a number attached.
With a number attached.
Yep.
They describe this dramatic scene where a powerful wind blast of 93 ear hits a man.
93 ear. I have to admit, that's a unit I'm not familiar with. What is that?
No, and you wouldn't be. It's not like miles per hour or knots. So from looking at the supplementary research, this ear seems to be a very specific, maybe a localized way of measuring the kinetic force.
So the actual impact.
Exactly. It's not about speed, it's about the push.
So what does 93 ear feel like? How do you even visualize that?
Well, to put it in context, think of it as a continuous, heavy, physical shove. Like an incredibly strong athlete trying to tackle you. But it doesn't stop. The force isn't just rushing past you. It's physically exerting itself on you.
And the material really focuses on that, on the struggle. It describes the man trying with all his might just to keep his balance against this incredible force.
Yes. The terrible strength of the storm, as they put it, was demonstrated in that one moment, that single precarious moment of a human resisting.
It's not an abstract number anymore. It's a physical battle.
And the wind is winning. You can almost feel it, can't you? The strain, the sound, the sheer weight of the air trying to push you over. It's terrifying.
And that takes us from these big macro forces, the floods, the quantified wind down, to these very personal, vulnerable moments, the near misses. These are the heart-stopping details, the close calls that really define what it's like to live at the edge of that intensity.
And here we see the total randomness of it all. It highlights that no matter how well we predict a weather system, for an individual person, immediate danger can just come down to pure chance.
Like the story they tell about the boy, it's a textbook near miss.
It really is.
The source details the sequence. A powerful stream of water, probably runoff from all the wind and rain, just pours down from a rooftop. A sudden, localized torrent.
Right as he stepped outside.
Right as he stepped outside. I mean, we're talking about milliseconds separating him from getting hit, maybe seriously injured or swept away.
And the outcome is what's so critical. He was narrowly missed. The source actually describes it as an almost miraculous escape.
That phrasing says everything. It wasn't skill, it wasn't preparation, it was just luck.
A roll of the dice. That tiny shift in timing, the exact moment he opened the door. That was the difference between safety and disaster. It shows how easily nature can just breach our defenses, like the safety of a doorway.
And they mention another one, don't they? A more vague one.
They do. The section ends with a quick reference to another dangerous moment by the side of the road. It's unspecified, but given the context.
You can imagine a landslide, a tree falling, that 93-ear gust hitting your car.
Anything. It's a reminder that even when you escape the big headline catastrophe, you're constantly on the verge of harm when you're in the middle of that raw intensity.
So if we pull all this back now, what's the big picture? We started with this idea of nature being both beautiful and untamed.
The duality. The lightning and the lava.
Exactly. And that coexists with the very real danger of flash floods that shut down our world and winds that can literally knock a grown man off his feet.
I think the core lesson here is that nature is a powerful force that operates with total indifference. It doesn't hate us. It doesn't care. It just is.
So our knowledge of it, it's only ever going to be partial.
Well, it forces us to redefine what knowledge even means in this context.
Mm-hmm.
Being well-informed isn't just about predicting what will happen. We're getting better at that, sure. But true knowledge is accepting the need to respect its fundamental untamed power. Knowledge here is humility. It's knowing when to step back and concede control.
It's the difference between studying the sheet music of a symphony and standing in the orchestra pit when the crescendo hits, and you realize this physical wave of sound is about to just wash over you.
That is the perfect image for it. And maybe that's the thought to leave everyone with. You know, if nature's power really is this wild musical power, this composition unfolding on its own terms, then what part of that composition is actually determined by our reaction, our preparation, and what part remains completely indifferent to anything we do? How much of the music can we actually conduct before we have to just listen and react?
That's a deep dive for another day.